Hello, gentle viewers. This is Abindian, welcoming you to a new episode of Out of the Park Baseball 19. Last year was a bit of a punch in the gut. We won 99 games and didn't even make the playoffs. And we had, as late as I believe early August, an 8-game lead over the Tigers, and I just went like a fart in the wind. So now our job is to try to salvage something out of our otherwise good season and see if we can make next one a World Series season. Who the hell is Dave Dravekian? How did he get on the Major League roster? I didn't put him there, did I? Oh, I traded for him. That's right. So we'll begin with arbitration. Wow, does Mike Smithson want a lot of money? I mean, here's the thing. He really put in yeoman's work this year. He was very useful. But I don't know if he's 200 grand useful, mate. I'm going to go ahead and cut him down to 125. Change. Absolutely, I would love to get a top, a first round draft pick out of him. There we go. If he signs another team, I get a first-round pick of the signing team and a pick in the supplemental first round. And it might become later on, but it's whatever. And I don't really care about keeping the other two players. I could at least talk to Ken Griffey Sr., see what he wants. Oh, no. I want to maintain flexibility, because we've got better than $1 million to spend in free agency. And I think we can make something happen with that. So we'll just go ahead and sim through the awards. Is there anything else I want to do first, actually? Oh, yeah, let's take a look at the team and see how people did. Tim Raines, was like 0.1% better than he was last year, mostly because he just played more games. He led the league in doubles, runs scored, at-bats, and plate appearances, and stolen bases. There's not a lot else to want. Oh, and by the way, he also hit double-digit home runs. And he played better than average second base. I mean, Don Mattingly, he's still got room to grow, but he led the league in hits and in batting average. And he still slugged almost 500. And he was a pretty okay left fielder. Chili Davis, who I keep meaning to call Chris, even though it's not his name. Yeah, I mean, hitting 325 homers. I'd like more doubles, but to be honest, at that point, we're splitting hairs. And again, pretty good defense. Von Hayes led the league in on-base percentage. Put together a very fine follow-up season to his somewhat subpar 1981. He just hit the baseball harder, and that worked for him. McNulty was brought in for a specific purpose. That purpose was to play really good defense and not embarrass himself with the bat. And he didn't really do either of those things. But he still managed to generate 3 WAR just because he was a third baseman. And he played well enough to earn that title. John Morris had a somewhat subpar offensive debut and defensive debut, if we're honest. But John Morris is young. He's still got room to grow. Dick Schofield, starting to make me question whether he'll ever really develop as a hitter. But he did play pretty good shortstop. And again, that's what he's here for. The biggest disappointment has to be Eddie Murray, who went from 6 WAR to barely offensively adequate. And there's not much to look at here and see that it went better. He walked fewer times. He got fewer hits. He did hit more doubles, but he hit fewer home runs. The power is there, but the contact wasn't. We need to find the happy medium between these two seasons. 1981, Eddie Murray is a steal at 300K. 1982, Murray is a ripoff at 300K. So we'll have to see if he can split the difference, maybe. He also stole fewer bases, and I think he also played pretty good at first base. Now, Gentile actually started to heat up toward the end of the season. And he did make significant progress offensively. So there may be something here. No one was actively bad, but we did get bad marks for fielding, so I wonder if our problem is just the fact that no one was an elite defender. That's our problem. We had a lot of pretty good defenders, but not like mind-blowingly elite defender. Which I'm fine with. And now let's look at the pitching. Dave Stewart was our leader in WAR. Poole was good. Huff was good. Falcone, real good year out of Mike Morgan. Dave Dravecki provided some quality pitching. And again, we just lacked a superstar this year. Given that last year Falcone won the Cy Young Award, and then he just started giving up homers and generally giving up more hits, and that's a bad combination. Stewart, again, just gave up home runs. Something happened this year where things that were not home runs last year are now home runs. And that's never easy to predict. But Bruce Poole, my man, getting his first full crack at the rotation, and he delivered. These are very fine numbers across the board. Could see the ERA get a little bit better, but this is what you're looking for from a reliever. Very pleased with that. I think there were some interesting people that said on the trading block, didn't it? Not really anybody I'm going to mess with. I think we'll just go ahead and sim forward. Up to the day the MVP is chosen. Damn, really? There is Bill McNulty won a Gold Glove. This was a bad year. Tim Raines gets another Silver Slugger, his second. And here's Vaughn Hayes with his DH. Very nice. And Mattingly. There we go. That's a pretty fearsome lineup we've put together. I'm very happy with that part. Let's take a look at some of the other awards. The ones we didn't win. Best AL reliever. We had nobody. I guess that's fair. Best rookie. Oh, John Morris got 2 votes. That's a thing that happened. Okay, really? The Royals were 90 and 72. I was 99 and 63. Give it to the manager at Detroit if you feel you have to, but come on. Yeah, frickin' Tigers walked away with both the Cy Young winner and the MVP, although Mattingly got quite a few votes. It's whatever, jerk faces. Let's go up to salary arbitration hearings. I really want to try to make a splash in free agency this year, but I've got a feeling we'll have the same problem we did last year. Who's in the draft pool this year? Doug Drabek, Benito Santiago, Terry Steinbach, Ron Gant, Kevin Seitzer, Robbie Thompson. Boo, Tony Fernandez. Go to hell, Tony Fernandez. John Burkett, Terry Pendleton. There could be something there. Really? Man, this arbitrator, he always screws me on one player every year. Oh, damn it. I actually wanted a non-tender Turner. Oh, well. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to some of these. I should have just been non-tendering people. Really? I mean, I guess Mike Smithson looks kind of decent, but I don't know, guys. And Charlie Huff very wisely decided to step out. All right, what do we got in free agency? I could add Enrique Romo, just another quality arm to the bullpen. He's a type B, though. I don't really want to lose a draft pick over him. I could get Buddy Bell back. He actually turned out to be pretty okay. But again, he's probably also worth a draft pick, and I'm not sacrificing a draft pick for him. There's just not much here that I instantly look at, and I'm like, yes, this would transform our team. And a lot of them want first-round draft picks. I'll be honest with you. I still think we could use an upgrade in the outfield, but I'm just not seeing one right now. Dave Parker, maybe. But he's a type B, and I don't want to... I'm gonna hold off for now. I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna see what people are looking for after some of the bigger names sign. I could get Len Barker. But, I mean, we might actually have all we need in the rotation now. It's just a question of, say, putting Smithson back in. Like, we haven't actually lost any position players. That market still remains pretty glutted. I mean, again, center field and right field remain the two positions we could upgrade at. And I'm just not seeing much evidence of a truly useful player at either position. I mean, Jack Clark is pretty good. But we also got that rookie. And it's been a while since Jack Clark has been, like, amazing. Jack Morris would be the big get in this market. And there is no way in hell I can afford him. I mean, I literally can't afford him, and I'm not spending $1.5 million for a player like that. I think I'd rather wait, just grab another bullpen arm or two, maybe like a Dave LaRoche. I might just offer him now, just for the hell of it. Sure. Sure. Done. That's the kind of offer I like to make. I know we're not really making splashes, but there's honestly... Oh, I've got to activate him. Okay. But I mean, there's honestly not much I can do at this point. Hall of Fame voting. Any big names this year? Matty Alou? No. Having absolutely no power doesn't do your cause any justice. No Sal Bando, no Jim Bunning, no Cepeda, no Mike Quellar, really, no Bill Freehan. Freehan is actually, yeah, he would actually improve the catcher standards pretty significantly. I'll give him a vote. Gaylord Perry, I mean, maybe. I'm gonna toss another vote toward Joe Torre and Billy Williams. But I mean, there's just not that much here. I mean, I guess I'd throw in a vote for Yaz, just see if we can get him over the top. But I mean, that's not really a Hall of Fame career in my view. He's actually worse than the average. I won't vote for him. If someone else votes him in, that's fine. But I can't cast my ballot for someone who doesn't at least meet the standard of the Hall, if not improve it. Unless they're in a position that's just really underrepresentative. Like, I'd vote for Ken Boyer before I'd vote for Yaz. I mean, maybe Brooks Robinson. I always kind of liked him. But we really suffer on pitchers in this version of reality. We're not really getting tremendous pitchers at this point. I'm just going to go and just vote for these three. I don't really see a point to voting for anyone else. I wonder who's going to sign Charlie Huff. And then more importantly, will he sign before the draft? And I bet he won't. Which really sucks. I really like an extra first round. The Reds signed him? How much did the Reds give Jack Morris? Hey, I'm happy to have him out of the AL. I'll be totally honest with you. Oh, yeah. He basically gave them, like, the world's slightest discount. But, yeah. That's good for him. And we got LaRoche. Very nice. Another nice improvement to the bullpen. Which you could argue didn't really need it, but hey. It is what it is, mate. Oh yeah, I should probably take a moment and go through the Rule 5 draft. With most teams, I would never consider adding Bernansky to the year. But, I mean, I have a lot of open spots, so I'm going to go ahead and add him. Castillo, I don't care about. There's a lot of garbage farther down here. Maybe someone will take John Allman again. And there's no one else in any other level, really. Okay. That's fine. We haven't really gotten better, have we? But then the question is, do we need to get better? Or does Detroit just need to get worse? First year draft. Ooh, Edgar Martinez. Oh, I'd love to get me some Edgar. Roger Clemens is only 9 of 10. There's no way in hell either of those players are falling to me. Not when I'm the 30th pick. What really frustrates me, and it's a smart strategy, don't get me wrong, is that the AI is smart enough to know not to sign anyone who's worth a first-round draft pick before the draft. It's like, really, mate? Whatever. I just want to look and see who we think of as, like, the best prospects. Oh, we could get a Glenn Allen Hill. A Kelly Downs. Mickey Brantley. Michael Brantley's father. I mean, Glenn Allen Hill isn't the most thrilling of prospects. There's just not much here, which is kind of what I feared might happen. We do need pitching. Alan Anderson could be a good one. Kelly Downs, I'm a little bit less sold on. I'm just looking at players right now to see if any of them leap out at me as being fairly well-rounded. I mean, Kevin Slawinski, maybe. Is he a good outfielder? He's a reasonably good outfielder, actually. But Alan Anderson is something we need, a pitcher. And I know he's not a sexy first-round draft pick. But he's someone that's more likely to help the team, I think. Oh, we could get Vince Coleman. Who should be really fast and not have much else going for him. Yep. It's really between Slawinski and Anderson. Like, why does the game like him so much, other than this potentially insane level of power? Afanir's a pretty decent hitter overall, but the contact is going to be what sells him or doesn't. And the AI doesn't think he'll ever develop it. Yeah. It's really helpful to compare, and it'll give you a better sense of what someone's true value is. I think we're going to go ahead and go for Anderson. And I know it's going to seem like a strange pick to some people. But it's a left-handed pitcher who's in high school, who looks like if he develops is going to be a pretty solid starter. He doesn't have much in the way of heat. But maybe he'll put on some weight as he gets older. And even if he doesn't, there's enough to like here that I think we'll draft him. Who else we got? Now, Jeff Lawson is a good choice, I think. If we believe that he'll develop this kind of legendary plate discipline, he should hit enough to stick at third base. I'm going to go ahead and take him. Felipe Hernandez is a mediocre catcher who has a few hit tools, but not enough. Honestly, I think this is just one of those. This is just one of these drafts. I do like Scott Whaley, actually. Now let's go ahead and take him. This is just one of those drafts, I think, where the elite players are gone already, and we're not likely to get any of the ones that remain. Yeah, look at this trash. The best contact hitter is a 48, and it's only the 4th round. That's not great. I know, I want batting potential, not how good they are now. Okay, Paul Thutzis is a really good potential overall hitter. He might not have a position, but this is exactly what risks were made for. And then there's Darcy Walker, who's just mediocre all around. But I think we'll actually take a look at pitching potential. Is this the Kevin Brown? I think this is the Kevin Brown. Let me take a look. Oh no, this is a Kevin Brown. Sorry to get you excited. This is not the Kevin Brown, this is just a Kevin Brown. But he's still a damn fine looking pitcher. Like, he's 6'2". He's got tremendous stuff. His control's going to need work, but I know he might just be a Kevin Brown, but I think we're going to take him. With a 5th round draft pick, this is an absolute steal. I'm going to try to do a better job of actually putting people on short lists that I think are interesting, so I don't forget about them. And we'll take Wayne Giddings. He's boring, but at least he might be able to throw strikes someday. Is there any interesting players still left at this point in the draft? There probably isn't. Wow, really? No one's going to even draft Troy Afanir? Oh, someone just did it. I mean, Felipe Hernandez may never hit, but if there's even a tiny percentage chance that he might, it costs me nothing to find out. I mean, similarly, Andrew Pratt. Again, these are just shots in the dark that I'm taking because, you know, it's the 10th round or the 8th round or whatever. Interesting. Yeah, we're going to save some good money here. $201,000. 31. 24. I know this is kind of dull as off seasons go, but we're just like a really good team. And it's hard to find anything that's going to make us better. Okay, there's some interesting names in the Rule 5 draft. I don't know if I take a flyer on Dave Bergman or not, but let's see if he's even going to be there to take a flyer on. Why do people keep taking John Allman? What is it about him that fascinates them so much? I don't know. There's clearly something about John Allman that, frankly, I'm not qualified to appreciate. No, he doesn't play right. Fergie Jenkins, though. Like, granted. 7 to 8 months he's out, but still. I could take Charlie Moore, a really good backup catcher. But honestly, Bergman is the name I keep coming back to. And he's obviously flawed, right? His only real offensive tool is drawing walks. But he's also really good at stealing, and he's a good outfielder. I think I'm still going to pass on him, though. I'm going to go ahead and complete the draft. Why must everyone take John Allman? It just blows my mind. It literally blows my mind. I have no idea how to accept that. Okay. Gilet's going up to the main roster. Bernansky, Walker. Do we consider maybe Pat Bone? I mean, he's done nothing but hit at the lower levels. And I get that he's not going to hit for a lot of power, but if he's putting up averages that are that high, and playing, you know, fair right field on top of it, I think we're going to give him a spring training slot. Joe Torre and Billy Williams both made it. Oh, they should have. Who's still available on free agency? Enrique Romo. I could get Jack Clark for cheap. The question is see an improvement in center field, and I'm not sure that the answer to that question is an unequivocal yes. I I could bring Ken Griffey Sr. back. I could bring in good old average Joe Coleman. Yeah, no one's taking Charlie Huff. I got 2 pretty good seasons out of him, though. Probably, arguably, the 2 best of his career. Would he take... No, he still wants almost $500 grand, and it's not that worth it to me. No one like Joe Coleman is right there, and he's about as good for less money. I'm gonna go ahead and just let things keep going right now. I could bring Larry Hubbard back again. He can never seem to get rid of me. Because he keeps wanting like $400 grand a year, and I'm not going to give him $400 grand. I will go ahead and actually re-sign him now. I think it's hilarious that every year it's like, I think I deserve $400 grand a year. He never gets it. It's like, whatever, man. Nah, no compensation picks. Well, I guess that's fair. Well, Minnesota picked up Charlie Huff. Welcome back, Larry. Welcome back. So I think what we'll do is because not much happened, I think we'll go and actually set up the rotation and the lineup in this episode, and then next episode is when we'll actually do the playthrough. We have one killer bullpen. I just don't have... I didn't add anything to the offense, and frankly, I don't know that we need to. Falcone is quite clearly now an overpay, by the way. I've got a 5-man rotation here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Yeah, we're good. I want Daryl Turner off the team. I should have non-tendered him while I could. I just forgot to do so. Oh, let's go ahead and give Pat Bone a spring training shot. Other than him... Not really anyone else I'm that eager to give a shot to. No, you don't make Kevin Brown a reliever. You make him a starter and then see if he becomes a reliever later on. Think, game, think. Yeah, there's not a lot here looking at that we've got to look forward to in the minors for the years to come. But we do have a lot of solid organizational depth. And that counts for something. I don't know what it counts for, but it counts for something. Alright. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and sim up to opening day. Oops, nope, I didn't do it right, sorry. I remember Pete Lecoq. I remember his hilarious name. That's all I remember about him. That's all anyone needs to remember about him. Like, if we get anything like the Pete Falcone... Oh, shit, mate. I guess I'll just go ahead and throw him on the DL now. That kind of sucks. I kind of had high hopes for him this year. Oh, well. Shit happens. Yeah, literally anybody can have Daryl Turner. I wonder if John Allman will make it the entire season on the roster, or if he'll just get sent back to me. Because it turns out he sucks. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really quite unfortunate. Player development. We're going to focus on the younger guys. Mark Colley actually improved a decent bit. That's something of a surprise. Jay Garb got a little bit better. That's something. Oh, I don't know what, but it's something. Dave LaPointe. Dave LaBloody-Point. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up our roster. Alright, let's go ahead and take the other obvious pick. Raleigh Fingers to the DL. We literally have our pitching staff now. Purely through attrition. So what do you have to get rid of offensively? Again, it's an obvious choice. We need to get rid of outfielders. Goodbye, Tim Bernansky. Goodbye, Pat Bone. One, two, three, four, five, six. Mark Colley might have to make the roster simply because I'm out of options on him and I don't want to trade him for nothing. Maybe get rid of Willie Wilson. I mean, he's just not that great. But no. What could I get for trading him? I could get even less. Well, maybe that means no one will ever claim him. There we go. We'll go ahead and sum up to opening day, and then I will put the roster together. I mean, we're pretty much a finished product as far as ball clubs go. I mean, there's ways we can upgrade, but they're not obvious. And so we're kind of in this. We're basically in. Ooh. You would send me a bad right fielder for a fairly helpful pitcher. No, go. Yeah, I don't have a top 100 prospect. Oh, the Mets have Jose Rijo and Roger Clemens. I mean, snap, but shit. That's going to be a scary rotation in a couple of years. Damn. And you think I should make the playoffs? I agree that I should make the playoffs, but I also am not convinced that we have much of a chance at that. But let's at least try to make it happen. Let's clear the staff. And let's stare at the Rato-Matic. So we've got one obvious pick. Dave Stewart is and always shall be the ace. Then Falcone. Then Poole. Then I think Smithson, and we'll follow it up by Morgan as the number 5 starter. That's what happened. Budner's stamina's gone. Did he get injured? I think that's what happened. I think he blew out his arm. And, oh yeah, yep. This is before Tommy John surgery. So yeah, Scott Budner is now reduced to a fairly decent long reliever. I guess Dave LaRoche kind of gets to be closer by default. So closer, 8th plus. Frazier is set up, and then everyone else is middle relief. Wait a minute, Dave Dravecki? Oh, you took a plummet too. Yeah, his potential just went. He might get better as the season progresses, but I think you'll be my my emergency starter along, man. This isn't quite the fearsome bullpen I had hoped for, but I'm also kind of okay with it nonetheless. Now let's build our lineups. And again, this is mostly going to be the game decide. This is mostly going to be plug and play. We kind of know how this is going to work out, but nonetheless, we're at least going to give it a try. Reigns at leadoff. He will be leadoff until he proves he is not worthy, which will be never. Mattingly is the number 3 hitter. Chile is cleanup. Von Hayes at second. Number 2, that is, not second. Like, Hayes is actually probably our most well-rounded hitter. There isn't really an obvious flaw in his offensive game. Then Murray batting at first. And then I guess Gentile at right. Walker's going to be batting 9th at center. That's pretty obvious. McNulty will bat at third base. And Schofield will play short. And there, my friends, we have it. We'll generate our depth chart, but I got a feeling the game's not going to argue with me too much. You really want to give Stewart a shot at center. I mean, Stewart's clearly the better hitter, but he's also clearly the worst center fielder. But I'm willing to give it a shot, and then we can basically just swap him out, and whoever plays the best can get the position. Okay. So next episode, we're going to see if the 1983 Blue Jays can finally break through the barrier. I mean, we've got a fearsome lineup with these top 5 spots. Oh, one last thing to do. When is Don Mattingly going to hit Arbitration Town? I'm not looking forward to him getting arbitration. He gonna be expensive. Yeah, as soon as this coming year. For a player of Mattingly's caliber, I will take this deal. Let's shift the opt-out clause. I'd like to give him 1 year, extra year. There we go. Yeah, done. Mattingly's absolutely worth every cent of that extended contract. And again, this locks up another piece of our puzzle. Could I get you to maybe sign for 3 or 4 years, Schofield? Keep wanting to call him Michael Schofield from the guy in Prison Break, the TV show. I will conservatively say there is no way Dave Stewart doesn't opt out of this deal. But we'll see. I mean, Dave Stewart was an amazing pitcher in 1981. He was merely pretty good in 1982. If he can take a step forward, I think it's in the bag that he opts out, but we'll see. I bet Mattingly will opt out of his too before the end, but still, we're locking up the young players. There's no reason this team can't stay together for another couple of seasons, at a minimum. Tim Raines will be the next one to hit the big contract. And then we're sitting here on $1 million in extension money. I just haven't seen anyone worth extending. You know, I'm going to demand another year out of Larry Hubbard. Yeah, I mean, you literally blew out your arm like the second after I signed you. I think you owe me a couple of years, mate. Other than that, I believe that'll conclude this episode. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know how you think this went. I mean, this was, I will not deny, one of the more boring off seasons. But we're kind of in this weird area where all our core is still super young. None of them are really close to peak level yet. Dave Stewart's getting there. But then again, pitchers don't age like hitters do. Dave Stewart may have already peaked. We have no idea. But none of our hitters are anywhere near their peak. I mean, Tim Raines is the oldest, and he's only 23. Eddie Murray we got at the right time. Because I think Atlanta ruined him. I think Atlanta kept him for too long without giving him a chance to start. And now that he's got it, I mean, 1.5 just isn't that great. I think Eddie Murray was going to want a fat contract after 1984, and I think we won't be the ones to give it to him. But we'll see. What we might explore next episode is maybe trying to acquire someone through trade. But I mean, we don't have much to trade. We just don't have much to trade. We don't have things that people want. We don't have young prospects that have really high ceilings, except for Pat Bone, who might actually be starting sooner rather than later. If you look at this team, you just don't see a lot of players that you point out and go, aha, that's the kind of player I want on my team. And this is part of the artifact of us being so good for so long. I know it seems like, it wasn't that long ago that you were objectively terrible of Indian. That's very true. But we only had 2 years under 500. And then we had 1980, and then we had 1982. So our drafts are... Let's take a look at our team history and look at our draft log. So when they first came to the league, they did Tim Raines. Brilliant. Then I picked Chili Davis, and Don Mattingly, and Von Hayes. 3 years in a row. Schofield, Morris, and then Anderson were a little ambivalent about. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in a row that the number one draft pick made the roster and provided a substantial boost to the team. I mean, was Filikins a bit disappointing? Maybe. But we got a pretty good season out of Filikins. We got one good season anyway. I mean, you look at the rest of the draft, we haven't really hit that often. Well, that'd be a fun way to end this episode. Let's take a look at our team in fact, who we acquired through free agency and who we drafted. We traded for Dave Stewart. Falcone, I think, was a trade. Poole was a trade. Smithson was a trade. Morgan we drafted in the 4th round. So our entire rotation is built through trade. And I bet our bullpen is built through free agents. And trades. I can't think of a single pitcher. We actually have no clue where he came from. George Frazier just showed up one day. He's like, I'm going to play baseball. Is that all right? And we're just like, okay. But our lineup is almost entirely homegrown. I mean, top 4 homegrown. I think Gentile we drafted. No, we've got him in the Rule 5. Schofield we drafted. Walker we traded for. McNulty we got as a free agent. But I mean, this is a homegrown lineup. When you get a top 4 of draft picks like this, there's no reason our lineup can't be really solid for years to come. And I'm stupidly excited to see what we can pull off. Especially Von Hayes. I mean, I know I keep going on and on about him. I promise this is the last thing we'll talk about for this episode, but he's above average at every single hitting tool. All of them. It's just crazy. I mean, in real life, Von Hayes had an okay career. He got traded by Cleveland to the Phillies. They called him 5-for-1. And the Indians got a lot of players out of this trade. And then it turned out he was never actually all that great with the Phillies. He had some good years. 84 was a good year. 89 was an okay year. But I think real life Chili Davis got hurt really early in his career. No, he didn't. Chili Davis actually put up decent numbers for a while. Chili Davis was that good in real life? I'll be damned. I had no clue. I always assumed Chili Davis was kind of a disappointment. But that must just be one of those things like Bo Jackson. Like, Bo Jackson was only disappointing because he was to be the greatest player of all time. Bo Jackson was still pretty damn fine as Bo Jackson. LIB. MR mice. But that'll end this episode. So go ahead and drop me a comment down below. Let me know how you think we did this season. Let me know if you think there were targets you could have pursued in free agency. I didn't. Jack Morris would have been an interesting add to the team, but also very expensive. Do feel free to like the video. As a friendly reminder, of course, if you're not getting when I post new videos, I do post OOTP 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I always post at 8 a.m. So you can either just, I don't know, like quit your job or something, or school or whatever, and watch the videos right when they come out, or just have them waiting for you to get home. And you can always click on the little bell icon, which will notify you when I post new stuff. That being said, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I bid you good day.